Focus with Owen Beattie.
And of course, get your messages into us, 0833 97 97 97. But first of all, Aubrey McCarthy, chairman of Tiglin from Punchestown, is on the line now. Good afternoon to you, Aubrey.
Good afternoon, Owen.
As I said there from the outset, we're going to be talking about Jigginstown Manor, obviously, but the homelessness situation here in this country. Jigginstown opened up in the last couple of months. You'll remember Michael D. Higgins was down in Naas for the grand opening as well. How have things gone, Aubrey, since that grand opening?
Well, since the grand opening, we're still full, and we've 12 apartments there, and they're all totally refurbished under the homeless care banner, and Tiglin run it as a service. So you have 12 individuals. A lot of them have come from the care system. So Tiglin, what we do is we try to provide wraparound supports so that each individual gets a chance at education, employment, apprenticeships, or whatever is needed. It's interesting, and I'm dying to hear it. You're going to be talking later about community-supported agriculture. So, if anything, Jigginstown Manor is community-supported housing. And I will compliment John Craddock, who was the visionary with Paula McHale, for the idea for Jigginstown Manor. And they set up a board and fundraised for years, and the Kildare people got behind it. And it's brilliant to say. It's working well, but we need far more. And as you mentioned, Owen, we're in crisis in Ireland, and there's 10,500 homeless people. A lot of those are young people. We also have the Ukrainian crisis, where a lot of Ukrainians need housing, other refugees. So we are in crisis mode. In Kildare, I'm not too sure if you saw the article in the Irish Examiner last week. It was quoting Caroline Reid from EPIC, which is the group that empowers young people in care. And she was emphasising how there's a lack of housing for young people in Ireland. And in Kildare, there's 168 homeless people, for example, in April of this year. And in that cohort, there's about 20% who are young people. And that means 18 to 24. Who largely, a lot of them are care leavers who perhaps should have a priority status in accessing accommodation, but it's not been given, and the lack of affordable housing has especially severe impact amongst young adults who perhaps are considered vulnerable members of society, and that homelessness can harm these individuals, not only physically but also mentally, and these are the people of tomorrow, these are the future.
I did see that article in the Irish Examiner, and indeed we spoke to a spokesperson from EPIC on the programme as well. They were emphasising their concerns over the lack of affordable housing, and if memory serves me right, some of the research that EPIC had done found that people were sleeping in graveyards, they were sleeping in cars when they left care, so it just further highlighted the problem. Now, from a Jigginstown point of view, it aims to respond to that crisis. But as you mentioned there when we first started talking, it's full. So we need more of these facilities around the country, do we not?
Yeah, the idea, what EPIC was saying basically is that when you turn 18, you're in a big bad world and you don't have the supports or the help. What Tiglin does at Jigginstown is the residents are encouraged to pursue education, employment, but also to build healthy habits via the various educational and employment opportunities. But interesting, their stay there in Jigginstown is also filled with a variety of practical learning experiences, such as we have people coming in to teach them cooking, woodworking, health and well-being, skills such as budgeting and nutrition. I'll give you a story. Last week we had Life Credit Union from Naas, which was organised by a guy called Tim Ryan, and they came in and they showed each of our residents how to budget, how to open up an account, how to work through the system. And the individuals that are now living with us most of them had not a clue. Last week also, K Leisure came along and we're talking about how to be healthy in your lifestyle. And they then gave free membership to our 12 residents. Now, if that's not community support to young people who are homeless, it's amazing. And I will say, also the credit union sponsored bikes for our residents. But the community of Kildare, I would say, are brilliant. If we have these opportunities, they'll get behind it. And you mentioned about young people living in cars. We've one guy that was living under a bridge near the motorway there. And when he came to us, he was in a tough situation. That guy's now in education, and he's working part-time in SuperValue. We've another guy working in Lidl across the road. We've another guy who's a landscaper. We've another lady who volunteers with the Nace Food Bank. One of our residents is now the head chef in a local convent. So cookery, education, all of that makes a big difference. And interesting, today I got a text just to say one of our female residents has been offered an internship in a local law firm. So here's 12 people who have managed to be housed under the Homeless Care Tiglin partnership at Jigginstown Manor. And it is working. But we need far more. We need more of this because it does work.
It's super. And I know a couple of the people who are actually living in Jigginstown, and I was talking to them anecdotally, and, you know, they couldn't speak highly enough of the services that are offered there. And it's interesting, Aubrey, because sometimes, or most of the time, the people who are suffering with homelessness, who may be considered from parts of society as down and outs, etc., they just need an arm around them. They need someone to believe in them, and those supports to be there, and they can turn their lives around.
It's interesting. The manager of Jigginstown, you've had on your show before, is Jay Bobnack. Jay was homeless and living in Stephen's Green when he came to the attention of Tiglin. He's now gone off, done his master's degree, done his training, and now he's manager of Jigginstown. So if there's anybody that knows what to do for vulnerable young adults, it's Jay. And interesting, every one of the residents that comes to us, they're young people that need stability. They need guidance. Otherwise, they're going to fall by the wayside. And lately, Jay has been doing a number of barbecues. We've had Shamey Moore in before he retired as mayor. Last week, we've had Evie Salmon in as mayor. We have Finton Brett, a lot of local people that come in, meet our residents, and then add value to their experience in living there.
Yeah, there's some great stories coming out of it, Aubrey, and it's a credit to yourselves and all the gang there. But unfortunately, the other side of this coin is that while there are success stories, there are still a growing number of people who are struggling with homelessness. You mentioned those who are homeless in Ireland and those who are coming in from Ukraine. Some people view this as being two separate issues. I would view it as the same issue. It is people in this country without a place to live.
Do you know, President Higgins, when he was in Jigginstown, he mentioned that Tiglin helps people who are displaced from society. They could be displaced due to homelessness, due to addiction, due to war. But what we do is we try to help people who are displaced, so we don't discriminate. Now, the Jigginstown Manor facility is for young people who are on the Kildare housing list. So everybody that's housed in there is somebody that's on the Kildare housing list. Tiglin also has 102 Ukrainian guests at another facility, and we also have other homeless facilities for Irish as well. But like what you said, homelessness is homelessness, and it doesn't discriminate on nationality.
OK, super stuff, and continued success with Jigginstown and Tiglin and all the facilities there.
And you must come for a barbecue.
I will, absolutely. Now that I heard that Shamey Moore was invited in for a barbecue, I'll be the first knocking down the door. Listen, great talking to you again, Aubrey, and I saw some of the photos of Shamey and indeed Evie Salmon out there at Jigginstown Manor, which is just beside us here at the Bundle of Sticks, and it looked like a fantastic day out as well, so well done to all involved. Aubrey McCarthy, of course, from Punchestown.